To find the right road out of despair, civilized man must enlarge his heart as he has enlarged his mind. He must learn to transcend self and in so doing to acquire the freedom of the universe. The fear of being found out often transforms acts into sins, not because of inherent guilt, but due to the consequences and disapproval of the herd. The sense of sin often originates in early childhood, shaped by moral teachings that linger in the unconscious, causing discomfort and guilt without clear reasons. The ascetic element in morality often lacks rational foundation, influencing judgments on behaviors like swearing, alcohol, tobacco, and sex, making the moral code irrational and causing harm in various ways. Avoid instilling the idea of disgust in natural bodily functions. Rational sexual education is crucial, and adults can work to minimize the harmful effects of unwise education on an irrational sense of sin. Overcome irrational beliefs rooted in childhood by examining them with reason and rejecting absurd feelings of guilt. Embrace a rational ethic, question traditional morality, and rebel against outdated, irrational taboos for a healthier perspective on life. To live consistently, one must deeply reflect on reason, discard lurking childhood superstitions, and view the sense of sin as a weakness. Maintaining self-respect, understanding acts as products of circumstances, and striving for a better life through rationality is key. The sense of sin, far from fostering a good life, breeds unhappiness and feelings of inferiority. Achieving harmony within oneself through rational beliefs and prompt dismissal of irrational notions is vital for happiness and productive living. The greatest happiness comes with the most complete possession of one's faculties. Genuine satisfaction is found in the fullest exercise of our faculties and the realization of the world around us, not in intoxication or self-centered passions. People inclined to persecution mania often embellish their hard luck stories until reaching the frontier of credibility. Understanding this tendency in ourselves is crucial for conquering happiness, as feeling universally ill-treated becomes a barrier to true contentment. Persecution mania thrives on an exaggerated view of our merits. We expect universal admiration while indulging in malicious gossip about others. Recognizing our imperfections and embracing a more tolerant perspective is crucial for happiness. The victim of persecution mania often generalizes personal grievances, misconstruing exceptions as norms. Partial truths skew their perspective, leading them to overvalue experiences that touch them directly and misjudge the broader context. Remember that your motives are not always as altruistic as they seem to yourself. If you find that others do not rate your abilities as highly as you do yourself, do not be too sure that it is they who are mistaken. No satisfaction based upon self-deception is solid, and however unpleasant the truth may be, it is better to face it once for all, to get used to it, and to proceed to build your life in accordance with it. A person born, let us say, in some small country town finds himself from early youth surrounded by hostility to everything that is necessary for mental excellence. If he wishes to read serious books, other boys despise him and teachers tell him that such works are unsettling. To be out of harmony with one's surroundings is of course a misfortune, but it is not always a misfortune to be avoided at all costs. Where the environment is stupid or prejudiced or cruel, it is a sign of merit to be out of harmony with it. The way of youth should not be made too hard. Young people have a right to their own choices and, if necessary, to their own mistakes. To be genuinely indifferent to public opinion is both a strength and a source of happiness. A society composed of individuals who do not bow too much to conventions is far more interesting than one in which all behave alike. Fear of public opinion, like every other form of fear, is oppressive and stunts growth. It is difficult to achieve any kind of greatness while a fear of this kind remains strong, and it is impossible to acquire that freedom of spirit in which true happiness consists. Pleasures of achievement demand difficulties such that beforehand success seems doubtful, although in the end it is usually achieved. This is perhaps the chief reason why a modest estimate of one's own powers is a source of happiness. The man of science, absorbed in his work, finds profound satisfaction, simplicity of emotions, and domestic bliss, contrasting with artists who, often misunderstood, face complexities and a painful choice between being despised or despicable. Happiness is not confined to the lofty pursuits of the elite. Anyone possessing a specialized skill can find joy in its exercise without needing universal acclaim. From rose blight experts to shell enthusiasts, contentment is discovered in diverse passions. Companionship and cooperation are crucial for happiness. Work, even in a machine age, can bring joy when it involves skill, power, and a sense of mastery. Belief in a meaningful cause provides an antidote to the feeling of life's emptiness. Fundamental happiness depends on a friendly interest in persons and things. Genuine, affectionate observation of people without seeking power or admiration leads to a reciprocal kindness that makes one a source of happiness and a pleasant companion. The secret of happiness is this: let your interests be as wide as possible, and let your reactions to the things and persons that interest you be as far as possible friendly rather than hostile. What hunger is in relation to food, zest is in relation to life. The man who is bored with his meals corresponds to the victim of Byronic unhappiness. The man who enjoys watching football is to that extent superior to the man who does not. Life could never be boring to a man to whom casual objects offered such a wealth of interest. Zest is sometimes general, sometimes specialized. It may be very specialized indeed. Readers of Borrow may remember a character who occurs in Lavengro. In the good life, there must be a balance between different activities, and no one of them must be carried so far as to make the others impossible. Some performances are considered so essentially noble as to justify the sacrifice of everything else on their behalf. Genuine zest, not the sort that is really a search for oblivion, is part of the natural makeup of human beings except in so far as it has been destroyed by unfortunate circumstances. To teach an attitude of inactivity and withdrawal towards life is clearly to teach something very inimical to zest, and to encourage a certain kind of absorption in self which is characteristic of highly respectable women, especially when they are uneducated. One of the chief causes of lack of zest is the feeling that one is unloved, whereas conversely the feeling of being loved promotes zest more than anything else does. It is affection received, not affection given, that causes the sense of security, though it arises most of all from affection which is reciprocal.